Vine sat on her bed, her arms crossed and a pout on her lips. She looked up at Jungkook as he entered the room, her eyes narrowing into a glare. Vine, don't you dare think about sleeping beside me tonight, she hissed, her voice dripping with irritation. He entered the bedroom, his footsteps heavy with exhaustion. Upon seeing Vine sitting on the bed with her arms crossed, he raised an eyebrow in surprise. Jungkook, and why can't I sleep next to you tonight? He asked, a hint of annoyance in his voice. Vine, you don't know? It's because you never give any time. And besides, you snore unbelievably loudly. She rolled her eyes dramatically. Ryan, I am your only girlfriend, and you can't even have that decency to stop snoring like a Snorlax every night. It's like sleeping next to a freight train, she retorted, flopping back onto the bed with a huff. He raised an eyebrow at her accusation, his expression one of disbelief. Jungkook, I don't snore, he denied, crossing his arms over his chest. You must be hearing things, he said, clearly annoyed by her words. She sat up on the bed, her eyes filled with a look of faint sadness. She turned to look at Jungkook, her shoulders shaking over so slightly. Fine, I can't take it anymore, she whimpered, a few fake tears escaping down her cheeks. Van, your snoring is so loud. It's like a jackhammer going off beside me every night. I feel like I am losing my mind, she continued, adding a dramatic hiccup to her act. His expression quickly changed from one of annoyance to one of concern and panic. He immediately stepped closer to her. His eyes widened as he saw the tears streaming down her face. Jungkook, hey hey, he said, his voice filled with worry as he reached the bed and knelt down, taking her hands in his. Why are you crying? He asked, his eyes searching hers for an answer. She just looked up at him with a woeful expression, still sniffling and pretending to wipe away her dramatic tears. Man, it's just you're snoring, she whimpered. It's driving me crazy. I can't sleep at all. Jungkook, love, I do not know I started snoring. It's just because maybe I was too tired. He said softly, a hint of guilt in his voice. I am sorry if it's been keeping you up at night. She continued to cry, her sniffles growing louder. Wine, and it's not just the snoring. You came home, go straight to bed, and then leave for the office early in the morning. I hardly see you at all. She hiccuped dramatically. Wine, I feel so lonely and neglected, she continued, her voice quivering with exaggerated emotion. You don't seem to care about me at all. It's like I am not even your girlfriend anymore. He squeezed her hand slightly lighter, his brow frowning in worry and guilt. Jungkook, that's not true, he protested. I care about you a lot. I have just been really busy with work lately. That's all. She just shook her head, continued to cry loudly. Wine, but that's not an excuse. If you truly cared about me, you would make time for me, even if you are busy. It feels like work is more important to you than I am. He looked more panicked by the minute, held her hands tighter. Jungkook, love, please don't cry, he pleaded, his voice filled with concern. I promise I don't snore. I did not realize I was doing it, honestly. And I am sorry I have been so busy. Work has just been really hectic lately, but swear it doesn't mean you are not important to me. She finally stopped crying, her sniffles coming to an abrupt halt. She looked up at him, her eyes still looking glossy from the tears, but her expression had already turned scamming. When you promise you don't know, she asked, a hint of skepticism in her voice. When and you swear work won't keep you away from me anymore, she added, a faint hint of a pout on her lips. Changu, I promise I don't snore. He reiterated. I do not even realize I was doing it, and work won't keep me away. I will make sure you be home earlier and spend more time with you. Man, but you did not tell me about how much work you have been doing, she said. Her voice soft. I know how much pressure you are under to become the CEO soon, but you are not taking care of yourself. You look so tired and stressed all the time. Jungkook. Yeah, work has been pretty tough lately, he admitted, signing heavily. There's just so much to do and so little time. I have been so caught up in everything that I have been neglected myself a bit. Jungkook. And besides, I did not want to worry you. That's why I did not share everything with you. I did not want you to be worried about me being so stressed and tired all the time. Why? You should know you can share your problems with me, she said gently. It's not a burden for me to worry about you, especially if it means you're not carrying everything alone. She reached out and took one of his hands in hers, squeezing it slightly. Man, you don't have to handle everything by yourself, she continued. Let me in, let me help you carry the weight. Jungkook, I know, he said, his voice soft and almost vulnerable. I just did not want you to worry. I am supposed to be the one who taking care of you, not the other way. Van shook her head, a small smile on her lips. Van, it's not about who's taking care of who, she replied. We are supposed to take care of each other. It's what being in a relationship is all about. He looked at her with a fond expression, his expression sparkling. He chuckled lightly and playfully grabbed both of her cheeks between his hands, pinching them gently. Jungkook, how did I get so lucky to have you? He said, his voice affectionate. You are so damn cute. He continued to gently pinch her cheeks, a lopsided grin on his face. Jungkook, I am the luckiest guy in the world to have a girlfriend like you. She let out a playful protest as he continued to pinch her cheeks. When, ouch, stop it, you are going to rip my cheeks off, she exclaimed, trying to sweat playfully at his hands. When, you can't just pinch my cheeks like they are made of bubble wrap, she chided, through her mouth was curved into a smile. As he pinched her cheeks, he could not help but laugh wholeheartedly. It was a laugh that had been locked away from days, perhaps even weeks, under the weight of his responsibilities and stress. But in that moment, with her playful protest and the laughter in her eyes, he felt a weight lifted from his shoulders. Jungkook, you always have a way of making me laugh like this, he said, finally letting go of her cheeks and smiling at her. Ryan, I miss your laugh too, she said softly. You have been coming home and going straight to bed, sleeping so fast, and you are not even taking care of yourself these days. You look so tired and stressed all the time. Ryan, I have been worrying about your health lately, she said, looking into his eyes. You're not eating properly, you're not getting enough sleep, and you're always working. It's not good for you, you know that, right? Ryan, you need to start taking care of yourself again, Jungkook. You can't keep going on like this. It will wear you out completely. His expression softened as he listened to her words, a small smile forming on his lips. Jungkook, you are right. I am lucky to have you who understand me without needing me to say a word. He said, his voice filled with gratitude. I promise I will take care of myself, eat properly, and spend more time with you. I am sorry for neglecting you lately, he continued, his eyes reflecting genuine apologies. Ryan, I know have been really busy lately, but I have really missed you, she said, her voice filled with a hint of vulnerability. It's not about always spending time together. It's about the moment we do get to spend together. Even just a few minutes to talk about our day or share a laugh. That's what I crave. He smiled warmly as he heard her words, his heart swelling with affection. He gently cupped her cheeks in his hand and kissed her forehead tenderly. Jungkook, I understand, he murmured. I promise I will make more time for us, no matter how busy I get. Wan smiled and gestured with her hand, indicating for him to lay his head on her lap. Wan, okay, now come here and put your head on my lap, she said softly. She patted her lap encouragingly, her gaze gently and loving. Wan, come on, lay down and rest. Let me take care of you. He chuckled softly and complied with her request. Lying his head gently on her lap, he let out a content sigh as he felt the warmth and softness of her lap, his body instinctively relaxing under her touch. She began to gently stroke Jungkook's hair as he laid his head on her lap. Her fingers ran through his locks, her touch gentle and soothing. She carefully worked through any tangles, her touch tender and caring. As Van continued to stroke his hair, his body began to relax, his eyelids growing heavy. The combined effect of her comforting touch and the soothing rhythm of her hair running through his hair was a potent sleep indicator. Within minutes, his eyes closed completely, his expression softening into that of peaceful sleep. He slumbered quietly, his breath even and deep. The tension and stress that had been etched on his face just moments ago had vanished, replaced by a sense of tranquility and rest.